Okay, so I just finished a 3-hour live stream on Duet Night Abyss. I know that 3 hours is definitely like such a small time for me to make a review. That's why this is only going to be like my first impression. I'm going to be releasing a full, complete review once the beta ends, because I can gather all my thoughts, like really technical stuff, small details. And if you want the long, short story, no yapping, it is good. There's a lot of potential in this game. There's things they can improve, but the potential is here. And trust me when I say that I'm going to do my best to convey every single bad experience, good experience on the surveys so they can try to polish the game and make sure that the game is going to be like in a really good shape once it fully releases. Because that's exactly what Close Out the Beta is for. So first things first, I'm going to leave it like spoiler free. Either you are someone who enjoys playing like story-based games or not, I'm going to leave it spoiler free. If you want to understand a bit of the world before playing the game, there's a lot of information on the official webpage where you can understand a bit of the world. There is a really good prologue to introduce you to the game, everything else that happens while you're trying to understand the whole world, the whole setup of the world. It happens in a really natural way where you don't feel overwhelmed by a lot of things. But I can't say that I like fully engaged in the story. The potential is there. I can see the story, I can see the world, but I can't feel fully engaged in the story yet. Hopefully in the future this is going to change. I only played like the very first chapter of the game. I'm like stuck right now, need to level up my account in order to unlock the rest of the story quest. But from what I played, really good world, really good flow on the story, but at the same time I don't feel completely engaged on the story. Another really cool thing is if you ever played like an RPG game, even better, if you ever played like any gacha game, then you know that this is like the main story and the main character usually has this dialogue options where you have like different options for you to choose and each one is going to make no difference at all. Duet Night Abyss changed this in a really good way. Why? Because picking options is going to shape your character, and this is going to give you like points that can be used on the future to unlock dialogue options with other side quests. Depending on the option that you pick, you're going to get like trait points, and these trait points can be used when trying to unlock side quests and talking with other NPCs. So honestly speaking, this is like a huge step forward in the right direction. I hope they can keep exploring this for the future. If you are a player that don't care for the story at all and just want to skip, there is a skip button. I just wish they add some kind of quick overview of the cutscene that you're skipping. Just like Enfield, for example. You can skip the story and then you can get a quick overview of what is going on. But if you don't like it at all, if you don't care at all, then it's fine. You can just skip and enjoy the gameplay. And speaking of gameplay, oh my gosh, it was really good. The only thing one of my members on my Discord server told me was that this is Gacha Warframe. And it was like, oh wait, it can't be this good, right? After playing this game for some time, I can't understand why players say that this is Gacha Warframe. Because the feeling is there, especially when you're moving around the map. This dash, jump, mobility. So seeing this was definitely like something really good for me. But if you're not simply comparing to Warframe, is at the same time not showcasing the full potential of the game. It is definitely unique in some aspects. And speaking of it, in case you want to talk about the game as well and you want to join the community, feel free to check the Discord, which is linked down in the description, which I'll be sharing like a lot of things about this beta. While my channel mostly covers Zone Zero, trust me, I am having a blast with this game. But anyway, for gameplay, I think there are some things I would like some improvements, because you can use both melee weapons and ranged weapons. I feel the transition in between like attacks, it feels a little bit clunky because of the zoom effect and camera position change that you get when swapping in between attacks. I don't like this, I find it a little bit clunky, and honestly I really would hope to see some improvement on how the camera changes here. But this is like minimal thing. For everything else, I feel that the combat experience is really good. For those that are wondering about gacha system, I find it actually surprisingly good, if I understand it correctly. Maybe there's something that I'm missing here, but we have like the beginner one that I read ended, by the way. We have the limited character, we have limited weapon banner, and there's also the standard character banner. And here's the thing about the limited character banner, because there's like two different ones. There's the destined chrono and there's event character chrono. And what's the difference here? This tiny chrono is going to give you like a guaranteed limited character once you pull a 5-star. You get a 5-star in up to 90 pulls, and after you get the 5-star limited character, this tiny chrono will close. So it's only going to remain with the event character chrono. And event character chrono is the classic 50-50. You pull a unit, you have 50% chance to get the limited character. If you end up hitting one of the standard characters, the next one is going to be guaranteed to be the limited character. I just can't see to completely wrap my head around what is writing right here. Well, for any event character chrono, the count of resources without a 5-star character drop will continue to accumulate within this chrono type, and it is tallied separately and does not carry over to other chronos. Now, this not carry over to other chronos is the part that I can't fully understand, because does it mean that it's not going to count for future banners, which I don't think it is. I don't think this is what it is trying to say, but the wording here, it kind of gives the wrong idea. I think that the other chronos here, it just means that it's not going to count like standard banner is standard banners, limited weapon is limited weapon, and destined chrono is destined chrono, event character chrono. So hopefully I can understand things correctly. If someone else completely understood this, feel free to drop a comment down below and tell me how it works, because I can't fully wrap my head around this carry over to other chronos. Because if it won't carry over, then my opinion on the gacha is actually going to change quite a lot. But hopefully it carries over. Another really good point on this game is actually the soundtrack, and like, oh my gosh, from the moment that I listened one of the last soundtracks on the prologue, I was like, oh my gosh, it just gives me like Nier, Drakengard vibes. And before you start jumping at me saying that this is not Nier levels of soundtrack, hold on. Nier is definitely like a huge soundtrack for me. I really like Nier soundtrack. So I'm not saying that this is like same level. I'm only telling you that the experience, the feeling is right there. I can't wait for when they release the whole soundtrack in music streaming service so I can listen to this, because it is really good. Either you are in the city, either you are in the middle of a boss fight, you are in your room resting, it has the perfect emotion for whatever you're doing. So it is really good, and I hope they can keep doing soundtracks like this for the rest of the game, because insanely good job from everyone involved in the music production for this game. Anyway, that's it for my first impressions of the game. Don't worry, because I'll be working on a full technical review of the game once the beta ends. So if you are interested in a more complete review, I'll be working on it in the future. This is just my first impressions of the game, and it looks really amazing. And the potential is there, and I really hope they can deliver once the game opens to everyone. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video. See ya!